everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Cassie, also known as KnittaCass. This is my YouTube channel where I talk about the projects that I'm making, patterns that I'm drooling over, books I'm reading, some parts of a small farm life in Vermont, and a spice of mental health. So go ahead and grab your favorite beverage. I of course have my Pepsi, which is equivalent to my coffee, but also my life source, and grab a favorite project and let's get started. First of all, I have a lot of new subscribers lately and I just really appreciate it so much. Thanks for checking me out and subscribing. It means the world to me. And for those of you who have stuck in there and been around for a while and keep coming back, thank you so much for you as well. It means the world to me. So I was so close to having a finished object. I usually film my podcast on Thursdays, but I wanted to have more content. So I waited until today, which is Monday, the 19th. I think it's the 19th of August. And I had one that is so close. So it is in this bee bag that I got. Side note, there's gonna be a lot of loud traffic. They have been doing some road work off and on the road that I live on. And today they have been taking turns being right in front of my house and then being down the road and then back in front of my house. So I never know when they're going to be in front of my house. And that means that there's traffic stopped and then a big influx of traffic starting again. So it might be a little loud. So I apologize. Okay, so the project is in this bumblebee bag that I got at Rhinebeck a few years ago. I do not know the maker, but I use this bag quite often. And it is an emotional support chicken. What did I drop? I can pick it up. So this is my emotional support chicken. This is the bottom of her body that's getting sewed on. So last time I showed this, I was maybe where this red is, and I haven't showed it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and I decided that it is, you know, relatively easy to finish this project and I should just go ahead and start working on it. So I did. So I picked it up on Thursday maybe and worked on it quite a bit. So this is made out of scrap yarn. This yarn is from Bumblebee Acres. This is, I can't remember if it's House of the Dragon or Dragon's Egg, something like that. So that is essentially the main color. I wanted this one to have more rustic colors. I made one in the past and it's like this really pretty kind of whitish with a pink tone and some pink and purple speckles, and it's glittery, which is totally up my alley. But I also wanted one that was a little more like rustic and semi-realistic looking. So that's how I got this one. This is some scrap yellow. It's like a goldenrod kind of that I have at home. I used it in my Rhinebeck doodle. Same with this red one. Don't know where they came from, but they are scraps. And this purple is also scrapped. I don't know where it came from. And yeah, I got a box of beaded eyes and like noses and such when I made the last chicken, and so I took my time kind of choosing the different eyes that I wanted to use, and I really like this one. So that's the one that I chose, and I've gotten the comb and the waffle. I don't know if I did that opposite, but I've got those attached, and I sewed up the seam. And when I sewed up the seam on the other one, let's see if I can do this. It doesn't quite add up like even wise with the colors, but the one that I made last time was drastically not lined up. So I'm quite happy with this one. I have just finished the body piece, or the bottom piece of the body. I'm sewing it on. Then I'm going to stuff her all up and she will be finished. Then I have several whips. So the one that is the newest, I cast on yesterday during a lunch date. And it's in this really cute bag from You So Pretty. It's a bag maker on Etsy. It's a really cute canvas bag. It's got a little wristlet and drawstring top. Really well made. Sits nice and flat. Open wide enough that I can work from it. So this is a pair of socks. And it is this really nice blue colorway. This is a yarnable color, and I'm using its extra yarn It's more than just scraps, but so we'll make a pair of socks. But I didn't keep the ball band. So it's this really nice, pretty like ice blues. I think this might be Frosty Fox. I think it is. So I just started this. I'm making a size large. It's for someone that's not myself, and they have pretty big feet. So I am knitting the 72 stitches instead of 64 like I normally do. And I thought each round would just feel like it was taking forever, even though it's not like a lot of stitches. But it feels the same. And so I started this yesterday, and I knit this much in probably 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So quite proud of that. That's my newest whip. It's going to be a vanilla pear. Then I also have this one I showed you on my last podcast. I did a swap with my friend in Germany named Christina, and she made me this project bag. So it's in this really great project bag. It also has a drawstring top, and it's pink and flowery, and I love flowers and I love pink. And it is out of this really fun color. Oh, that's showing exactly true to color. So it's really fun, like a white with reds and blues. It's really pretty. It is yarnable, and it is Oh My Stars. It's their July 2024 colorway. And this is all I have for you, which I think is all I had the last time. So I've done the cast on stitches and maybe one foundation row, but that's about it. It is going to be the Lynn or Line Socks, Lyne, and this is by Dawn Henderson. It's this really fun pattern. I'll throw a picture up. It looks really fun. I can't wait to make them. The only thing that's been keeping me from actually making any progress is I need to go up to size 2, which I normally don't do for socks because of the design work it's doing. And whenever I sit down to knit, I kind of have all my stuff ready so that I like don't have to get up and move. And I always forget the size 2 needles. So maybe today will be the day. And this one you've seen a lot. This is in this really cute canvas bag by So Crazy Crafter. And it is a pair of socks that I've been knitting for forever on. It is on magic loop, which I typically don't do, but I was feeling magic loop when I cast these on. I cast them on, I think at the very beginning of summer, and I had knit like this much, and the pattern instructions didn't make any sense to me, so I thought I knew what she was trying to say, so I did what I thought she was trying to say, and it just like looked bowed out on the sides. It was a nightmare. So I ended up having to pull it back and start over, and then I just wasn't picking them up. So now I'm making progress. So you can kind of see the pattern there. And now I'm starting to start the heel, and it's a heel that's different to me. It doesn't even say what kind of heel it is, but yeah, we'll see. I'm curious to see how it works out. And the yarn is, oh, Cassie, you didn't. I have to look in my project notebook and write the yarn colorway down here. I do know that it's a yarnable. It's like this really teal blue with some purples in it. And then I've got these stitch markers on here. This is a mixtape from the Chicken Lady. I think it's the Chicken Lady. I'll have her linked down in my show notes below. She has some 90s themed stitch markers in her Etsy shop. So this is sock number 1. I'm finally starting to like it. I worked on it a lot at football the other day, and this pattern is called Siddal by Cheryl Toy. Okay. Another whip I have is a washcloth. Got some dog hair and cat hair on it. So this is called Central Park Dishcloth. It is a pattern by the Kitchen Sink Shop, and if you sign up for their newsletter, they'll send you a free washcloth pattern at the first of every month. My goal for the last couple years is to knit 12 dishcloths in a year. Very small, very attainable goal. But for me, I have issues and it doesn't seem to work. So last year I started doing the monthly washcloths, and I decided I would continue it this year. I have an accountability partner, Sarah, who's doing way better than I am at this. And this is August dishcloth, and I've missed several months. But it's kind of fun. It's interesting. Like, it has this U shape and then the U shape here, and then I think we repeat it. This is about half of the washcloth. The thing that bugs me about it is that it has like a chunk of the instructions, and then it'll say, like, for example, row 12, follow 3, row 13, follow 4, and it does that so much that you have to like keep following, that you're like, am I on the original row 15 but I'm knitting row 9? You know, like, it's a lot if you're not doing it all at once. I was doing it at work. I had a big chunk of time one day when a lot of people had called out, but I really haven't worked on it more than a couple times, and it's just a lot to follow. And it's in a colorway that kind of loses the pattern a little bit, so I'm running out of the like dishy for, it's not dishy, I think it's like sugar and cream, but the washcloth yarn I'm running out of. So I had limited choices. And I did order some yarn. I'll talk about that in a minute. So the moment we've all been waiting for, the V-back tee. This is a pattern by Jamie Hoffman, a really well written pattern. If you buy it and then you see that it has a million pages, just know it's because she goes into detail about sizing and modifications, and really step-by-step explains things. After like an increase rounds or a section of short rows, she'll tell you how many stitches you have between certain markers. Very well written. Do not be intimidated. So with that all being said, I have been knitting on it and having a great time. And there's two sections of short rows. And in the second section, you're resolving some. And I noticed that when I'm resolving them on the knit side or the right side of the work, it's just looking like an elongated knit stitch, and it's very noticeable. So because it was short rows that change how you're doing everything, I couldn't just pull the yarn out. Like, I couldn't just put a rescue needle and then, you know, frog it to that point. And if I'd done just a couple rows, I wouldn't really know what row I'm on, because say, for example, there's like 5 pattern repeats and you do like 1 through 5. This is not really how the pattern goes. I'm just making up an example. So like, say it's 1 through 5 and you do that so many times, but then you do like 3 through 5 so many times. It'd be really hard for me to know where I was. So I tinked all the way back until I was knitting completely in the round. It was like 4 inches. It took me over 2 weeks, and it's all I worked on, and it was so painful, but I really, really want this pattern to work. I really want to wear the finished project, and it is so worth it. So finally last night I was able to start doing the short rows again. So you're not really going to see progress, but I'm still going to show it. Okay, so here she is. Woohoo! And since we're here, well, I can show you my stitch markers. So this is a camping stitch marker that I don't know where I got it from. These are some shark stitch markers. I got those from Wee Ones. She makes polymer clay stitch markers in sets of 4, and one is always the odd man out. So there was 4 sharks, and one of them's a hammerhead. And then I've got this one, which was a sponsored item you could purchase for Sock Week of several years ago, which is a make along by Knitty Natty. And then I've got this one from the Tiniest Charm Co. or Littlest Charm Co. And it's this really cute sea turtle. And it's got a crab and a seashell on it. The cutest little face. I'm going to move this guy to where we are today so we can see how much progress I've made from now until the next time I chat with you. All right, let's see. It's a good place to put you. There. Okay, and that is out of this yarn, which is Love in Speckles. It is an exclusively dyed colorway that we made a few years ago now in the Love and Stitches membership with Bree of the Little Wolf Knits. This is really pretty. The base is kind of meant to be like a gray undertone, but it's also like very pink. And then it's got a bunch of like blues and teals, some pinks. It's really pretty. And out of this colorway, which is really fun, mostly green with a bunch of every other color, really well done, by Ruby and Roses. It's called Love and Roses, also an exclusive colorway for the Love and Stitches membership. And I've got this all in this bag from Knit Wit Yarn Shop that I went to, I think last winter, not this one we just had, but the one before, when the boys had an AAU basketball tournament in Maine. That's it for my whips. I think that's the most whips I lied. I have one more whip, but I didn't show you because I haven't worked on it. I'm working on the Cozy Stripe Blanket by Attic 24. It is a crochet blanket. I'm pretty new to crochet, so I'm really slow at it. And I really haven't been working on it very much. I was hoping I would work on it a lot over the summer and then have something to, you know, snuggle up with in the fall, but I will be snuggling up with it while I'm making it because it's getting big enough that it can warm me up while I make it, and I'm just not going to stress about it. There was a lot of things I planned on doing this summer knitting wise that I'm just not really doing. I'm working really odd hours and working really long days and not finding a lot of time to carve into knitting because it's like work, get the stuff done that you have to do to like maintain your household, and you know, sometimes you gotta sleep too. So it's been hard to squeeze in some knitting. That's okay. Cozy weather's coming. We're gonna be really busy with football coming up, which I'll talk a little bit more about in life stuff. So I'm hoping that I can schedule Sundays every week to just be like minimal housekeeping, not the full deep cleaning that I've been doing on Sunday. I'm going to try to do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll do it in the morning. I'm not sure, but I really want to try to make Sunday like absolutely a no stress day. Just knit, watch TV, play with the kids, you know, whatever it may be, but low stress, lots of crafting. Wish me luck. That's what I'm hoping to do with this fall season coming. It's still August, which usually means that the weather is still pretty hot, but the last week it's kind of like got this crispness in the air, even though the temperature hasn't changed a whole lot, and it feels like fall, and my body is itching that fall is coming, and I'm getting so excited. Okay, so sorry, tangent. Plans for crafting. I have a couple hats I want to make. I want to make a hat for my husband. I make him a birthday hat every year, and his coworker is always jealous that Chris gets a hat, so his friend will also be getting a hat. I'm going to make a hat for my dad. I made him one several years ago that he absolutely loved, so I look forward to making him another one. He's pretty knit worthy. I'm also going to do the, not Rhinebeck, Cassie. I'm also going to do the baking doodle cow. I just printed the pattern out. Can I show it without showing the pattern? Yeah, I can. So it's got these really cool motifs like oven mitt, cupcakes, mixing bowl. It's got cookies, a whisk, a rolling pin. I think it even has an oven, has a bunch of things. So this is a pattern by Pacific Knit Co. or Jamie Lomax, and she makes doodle. She releases them out in sets. They are color motifs and the patterns are really well written. You can make it in a traditional cowl or a infinity cowl, and it's super fun. I made one for Rhinebeck. You can kind of see it. Here's my Rhinebeck doodle cowl. And so I'm going to make the baking one, and I'm really excited about it. So I bought some yarn for that and some yarn for the hats, and I bought some new washcloth yarn so that hopefully I'll be more inspired to actually make some washcloths. Since the end of the year is, you know, it's crunching in. I've got time, but it's starting to be that busy time of year where everyone's getting ready for the holidays, and you know, right now it's go back to school, and then you get adjusted to going back to school, and then it's holiday season. So it's about to get pretty busy. And back to fall. So speaking of fall, that means the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, also known as Rhinebeck. And this will be my 3rd year in a row going. I'm so excited. So last year I went with my friend Salila and we did a day trip and it was awesome. And this year we're going, and we're gonna go for both days. We're gonna be there Friday night just to unwind from the travel day and be ready for the festival, and then do the festival on Saturday and Sunday. We're going with another friend and just booked our B&B, and so now it's like all official and I'm super excited. And I am not making a Rhinebeck sweater this year. I made one last year. It fit perfectly. I absolutely loved it. It was the Autumn Court sweater by Dragon Horde Designs, but I overblocked it and I haven't fixed it yet, and I really should fix it. And I thought maybe I'll fix that for Rhinebeck and wear it at Rhinebeck, but I wore it last year and I did a vlog. I'm going to do another vlog this year, but I just didn't want to do that. So I did make the campsite cardi. I'll write the name down below. I haven't blocked it yet, but I really like it. So I'm planning on wearing that one of the days. I'll have to obviously wear something warm under it. And then the other day, I'd like to wear my V-back tee and just have like a undershirt, like a black long sleeve undershirt, and then put the V-back tee on top of it. I think that would be a perfect way to show off my knit. And then I don't have to try to fit in an entire new garment from now to Rhinebeck and completely stressed about it. It's just not worth it. So that'll give me 2 things to show off for the 2 days I'm there. Plus I'll have my Rhinebeck doodle cowl. So I'm going to be fine. There's no need for it. So I'm going to breathe a little, and I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I'm looking forward to meeting some new Love and Stitches memberships. Love and Stitches members. It seems that a lot more of our membership is going this year. I'm a little cautious. I do want to meet people. I do want to say hello. I do want to take some photos, but I also don't want to be completely enveloped in trying to meet everyone and not being able to enjoy the festival. I want to do both. Farm life. So the last several podcasts, I haven't really had anything to report to you, but a couple updates. So my sister-in-law is getting married, and we are all just like so excited about getting ready for this wedding. And so there's been a lot of work on the farm about, you know, getting the field prepared and making the path down to the field more drivable. We've had a lot of flooding, so we need to make sure it's sustainable and safe. Repairing like the road to camp. Like there's just been a lot of hustle and bustle around the farm to make this wedding happen. And we're really, really, really praying to the weather gods that it is like peak foliage. Like maybe not like peak where it's then going to start to come down, but like the beginning where it's really vibrant for her photos. She really wants a fall wedding, and we are all for it. She's picked out some colors for the bridesmaid dresses, and so the guys are kind of working on the land. The girls are kind of doing the planning, and then it'll be a big family affair, like actually setting up and getting it ready to go. There hasn't been a wedding on the farm in a few years now. If you don't know, we live on a farm in Vermont. It's a small family farm, but it's got lots of land. Right now it's a hobby farm animal-wise, but it was an operating dairy farm. And my husband and I, how many years ago? 15 years ago? He's not watching this, so if I get it wrong, it's totally fine. 15 years ago, we got married in our field. And ever since then, a couple of his cousins have gotten married. A family friend's gotten married in the field. One of his sisters got married in the field. The second sister's getting married in the field. The cool thing about it is where we got married, no one else has gotten married, like in the portion of our field. But there's something about really just like turning the field into this wedding venue that is just so much fun. It's so magical. And all of us have done it in like sometime in the summer. So a fall wedding on the farm, like some of my favorite photos of the farm is during foliage season. Oh my God, chef's kiss. Is going to be beautiful. Family life. So Michael turned 18 in October and he moved out a couple weeks ago, and it's going really well. He's really enjoying his independence, and although I miss him, I also feel like this is an important milestone for both of us, and it's going really, really well. He came over for dinner last night actually, and that was really nice. I'm not sure he wanted to necessarily come over, but I kept asking him, and he was like, okay, well, what are you making? And I told him, and he's like, okay, I'll be over. This is Callie, in case you haven't met her before. She's not an affectionate cat, but lately has been. So we'll soak it all up as much as we can. What was I saying? Oh, so he came over for dinner last night. And then Wyatt, my 16-year-old, is working like a dog this summer, trying to earn money for a car. He closes at McDonald's, so he gets home pretty late. And then Weston, my youngest, just turned 11, and he is playing football this year. The funny thing about it is his older brothers both played football, and he was a baby, like I mean baby, when his older brother started. And football's a pretty big commitment for practices. You're at the field, the first 2 weeks you're at the field every day, and then it's like 3 days a week after that. And so we're at the field a lot. And then his other brother like joined the next year, and they had opposite schedules. So we're at the field Monday through Friday every week. And he was dragged along for that until he was probably like 2.5 or 3. And now it's his turn. And it's so cool to watch him be the football player, and I just love it. He's really good at it. He really loves it. He has some anxiety, and this is the one thing that he doesn't get anxious about going to. It's really great. So I'll probably put a couple photos in here of him all up in his gear or practicing. And Chris got a new bike. He went for a test drive and fell in love with a bike. They tried getting him to get like a newer, model, but he really liked this one. It's pretty souped up. Whoever had it before really invested a lot of time and money into it, and it is a really sweet ride. So I'll post a picture of that too, because that is a pretty exciting development. And yeah, we have to fix the kitchen. We've been wanting to remodel it forever, but we have to fix the floor like right away. We have a hole in our floor underneath our sink. And when I discovered it, I had, brought it up to my husband, and he was like, okay, well, when I come home this weekend, we'll have to, check it out, see what the best plan of action is for fixing it. And I was telling the kids to be careful, and they were like, oh yeah, Mom, that's been there for a while. Okay, kids, how long's a while? And why did you guys not tell me? So that's concerning. But I spent the whole week emptying the cupboards so that we can move the cupboards and the sink to fix the floor. So that's been fun. Things have been a little crazy. But yeah, I think that's it. I think I'm just getting rambly now. And so this comes to my favorite part of my podcast. For all of you who are new here, I am a big advocate for mental health, self-awareness, and reducing the stigma of those who have mental health conditions. I have bipolar. I'm pretty well managed on medications and therapy, and using life skills and strategies that I've worked on with my support team to help manage things. And a lot of people, especially with a bipolar diagnosis, are afraid to bring that up and talk about it out in the public. And I think that the more we talk about it and the more people listen, the less stigma there'll be, and the more people will seek help. There's a lot of people who are too afraid to ask for help, and they're struggling. It's a struggle. And even if you're not labeled with a mental health condition, they say mental health for a reason. It is a really important part of taking care of yourself. So today I just want to say that I saw this on a story. I think it was Knitting Tipsy. So there is a girl named Chelsea on Instagram. Her handle is Knitting Tipsy. And she also is a big advocate on mental health awareness and self-love. And she posts things on her story all the time about mental health, self-love, self-care. And so this one said, you can't add more days to your life, but you can add more life to your days. And that just really struck a chord in me. And so I thought it would just be a good reminder to us to try to fill our days with a little more joy, a little more of what fills our cup. And so I hope that you can take that with you. I hope that you do things to fill your cup and have some happy crafting, and I will see you next time.